Hi friends of cocktails! For the first time on the new set, I'll make a cocktail with tequila, mezcal and beer. All three Mexican ingredients will make one refreshing cocktail to beat the summer heat. Let's start, it's cocktail time. I created this cocktail for an event at a bar I work at, hosting a masterclass featuring these three ingredients: a tequila, mezcal, and a Mexican beer. This is one way to come up with the new cocktail ideas. Get a set of ingredients and try to find the best way to combine them so they all contribute to the end result. But if you know this channel, you know that I like cordials, especially for summer cocktails. You can prepare them ahead of time, they last a long time, and with both sweet and sour components included, you can make a lot of cocktails fast. So I reduced the beer and turned it into a cordial with some added spices. Here's how to make it. Since we'll be cooking off half of the beer, you should do this with the kitchen hood turned on full power, or you'll be smelling that beer for quite some time. We don't have a hood installed on the set, so we went outside to do this part. To make the cordial, I'll reduce the beer by half. That will result in an intense flavor with less of the liquid from the beer. Since I don't like to eyeball things with cocktails, I'll measure the total weight of my pot, the whole beer, and the spices I'll add. The beer weighs 355 grams, so I'll need to subtract half of that from the total weight to get the amount I'll be aiming for. Once the beer starts boiling, it's time to add the spices. 4 grams of dried chamomile, which goes great with all of the ingredients, and 8 grams of pink peppercorns for a subtle spicy hit. I'll check the weight several times as it reduces. If you have a smaller pot, the reduction process will take longer, and you might want to place the spices in a tea bag so you can take them out after around 10 minutes of boiling. The first time I was making this reduction, I left the herbs in way too long, and it turned out kind of muddy and too bitter. Since all of the alcohol gets cooked off, this cordial can be a great way to add a strong beer flavor, even if you're making mocktails. They are getting pretty popular around here. Once the beer has reduced, it's time to strain it through a rinsed muslin cloth. Squeeze out as much liquid as you can. A potato ricer is a really useful gadget for that. I ended up with 150 grams of liquid, and to make it a cordial, I'll add sweet and sour components. 65 grams of sugar for the sweetness, and a combination of citric and malic acids to mimic the taste of a lime, without shortening the shelf life of the cordial with citrus juice. 3.5 grams of citric and 3 grams of malic acids. Stir well to combine and dissolve before bottling. It's hard to say how long this will last, but it should be good for at least up to a month, if not more. You can use this recipe with a different style of beer and pair it with a different spirit. Stout would go great with Irish whiskey. A pale ale might work with rum, but the Corona and tequila are a match made in heaven. Let's make the cocktail. Like with a clear mojito, we already did most of the hard work with the prep, and this will be a simple build. Chill a highball glass before adding 60 ml or 2 ounces of your favorite Blanco tequila. Today, I'm using 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹. Next, 37.5 ml or 1.25 ounce of our beer cordial. If you don't have citric and malic acids to make the cordial, turn the reduced beer into a beer syrup and add that to the cocktail. But remember to balance it with freshly squeezed lime juice. 3 drops of saline solution will enhance all of the flavors and bring out the best from the agave spirits. To make this a refreshing summer sipper, I decided to make this as a long drink. Add soda water before gently turning the cocktail to mix all the ingredients. Final ingredient is mezcal. A float will be enough to give the whole cocktail a gentle smoky undertone without overpowering the other components. And you can't add Corona beer in a cocktail and not garnish with a lime. But here, a long lime twist will be just right. Peel it over the glass to get as much of the aroma on the drink as possible, with tequila as the base spirit, a smoky mezcal for the float, and a Mexican beer as the modifier. I think it's fair to call this the Mexican Penicillin. Let's give it a try. The citrus freshness and smoky mezcal are the first to hit your nose, but your palate gets the full blend of flavors. The earthy, fresh and slightly salty notes of the tequila are combined with the smoky mezcal, while the Corona cordial supports them both from the background. It's a pleasant surprise when a beer cocktail isn't thrown off by the beer pushing to the forefront. The spices add just enough to bring out the best flavors in this Mexican summer delight. If you can, try making this cocktail. You won't regret it. It's great to be back and making cocktails for you guys again. I'm not making the easiest cocktails out there, but I'm really pleased to see some of you guys trying them at home. I'll see you next time. Cheers!